him and saying that I have had no paperwork regarding this event. And if he wants to lay out what the plan is and what is going to actually occur, who's gonna be there, how many, where the location of all this is gonna be, who the vendors are, what they're selling, do they need vendor permits? Do we need police officers?
I have no problem with that. Does anyone else have any issues?
Insurance, what about insurance?
Lisa, if I may just say something, there's a train coming in from Steamtown that same day.
I understand that.
And the train station's doing their own thing. They do their own thing. They have nothing to do with the borough at all. As stated before, the Friends of was never even asked about this as well. It was Scott Fabian who was gonna do, I believe, a craft show down there. Something on the stage.
Craft show where?
On Waring Drive?
In the street.
Yes. Yeah. Like it was when we had Founder's Day.
Yeah,
Where the
but
craft-
but it wasn't brought to council to ask the council to approve closing the street.
Well,
And also in his
yeah.
letter, he says a March bus is coming.
there is
Who
one.
rented the bus? Who's responsible for the bus?
The bus is being donated by Marks. Bob Chepalonis is the president of the company. I called them on behalf of the train station.
I have no issue with you sending a response to Scott Fabian and in
Should
response to his
our
letter.
solicitor be sending that response? Like,
Yesterday.
sorry, I was in the bathroom.
I'm not sure.
But
my
there's
copy
other-
was on that day.
There's other
Like-
things that are.
That was a recommendation from our committee. That's the only reason why I'm saying I don't have a problem with
Okay,
the recommendation.
Jamie, okay, here's the problem.
Yes.
This entire event, including a couple of other events, Tammy has more information on it, and the council has no information on it.
As far as I'm concerned, as a member of council,
It's not, but I for you.
Borough Council is not sponsoring any event. So what, we don't have an event. I
You
mean,
keep
whether there's an
saying,
event going on or
Jamie,
not.
you keep saying that,
In the
I
borough.
can't even plan an event without bringing it to council. If
I
if a council member
Okay.
planned an event, put it on the borough's website, on the borough's Facebook page, is collecting money for fees, close the street, has vendors coming in, there's a lot of, you are the one person that speaks of insurance liability on a
If
regular
someone's
basis.
using, if someone's using borough property for a private event,
That's
then
fine.
there should be some sort of certificate of
Absolutely.
insurance
Yes.
naming the borough as an additional insured.
But this letter's asking for permission, so I don't think they are using, I don't know what they're using, to be perfectly honest with you. All I know is, when I see this letter, that he's asking, can we use the park and your parks? So I'm looking at you to see what you recommend, how we deal with him asking, how Scott Fabian asking us if we can use the parks, how do we respond to it?
I think
That's
the
what I'm
letter
saying.
should be sent to Scott Fabian.
Okay.
And
Specifically on his request.
CCing the council member who planned the event, that the council needs a full report on what is expected that day, before anything else is approved.
Nothing's before
Not
us.
canceling their event, but they need to answer these questions. Certificate of insurance,
Sorry.
what is expected, who are the vendors, how many, where will they be placed, what are they selling, do they need vendors permits? The hours of the event,
Would you like to meet with him at the Borough Hall, Lisa?
why am I, but you saying him, you're talking about Scott Fabian. Scott Fabian is not a council member, and a council member planned these. And left us here with no information.
Lisa, what I think is being said is that the council member wasn't acting as a council member when it was planned, that they were acting as one of the business owners on Delaware
I
Ave.
think that was clear. I think that's what we've been saying all along.
Then they are
You've
using
said
the
it
borough's
otherwise.
website to promote their own business.
Right.
That's
Correct.
not right. What's the borough's website? I didn't see
The
it.
Facebook page.
The Facebook page is, first of all, that's my Facebook page, either which way. We don't use the borough, the Facebook page that was designed or created for the borough. I created that Facebook page and I let Lauren use it for the businesses. But if that's what you're talking about, you're talking about the
Okay,
website.
we need a separation of church and state up in here. Are we the council, or are we all acting on our all individual?
We have
Thank
people
you.
in the
Amen.
borough businesses, and I can't tell them how to operate the businesses. I don't know what you're asking me.
But even if they're operating their businesses,
If they wanna do an Oktoberfest with their businesses,
I
and it
can't
doesn't
even
affect our
have a
property.
yard sale
what can I
in front
tell
of
you?
my own house without getting a permit.
Let's just
Yes, you
figure out how
can,
to
on the
address
Friends
this,
of Day, you can.
or not address this, whatever you want to do. How do you figure out you want to address this letter,
So-
this request that Mr. Fabian had with regard to?
Tell me this, am I the only person that has a problem with this? Cause I'm the only person that's speaking about it. Am I
This
the only
was-
person that has a
this
problem
was-
with this?
I didn't research this stuff. This was advertised on a Facebook page, not on the borough
There's a lot of things advertised on the
WGPA.gov.
page.
It's not on the borough website.
It's not on the borough website.
Only
It's
the
on a private
Friends-
Facebook page
Friends
that
and,
says Borough of Delaware
Friends.
Watergate happening, or whatever it says, I don't know. But either which way,
It seems to me
Mr.
that maybe-
Fabian wrote us a letter, we have to respond to the letter
that
somehow.
Maybe
That's
they
what I'm
put the
saying.
cart before the horse as far as
They
planning the
always do.
event and then asking for permission to use our property.
We could say no
We
if you
can
like,
say,
but we
we
should
can say
respond.
no,
We
and
should
they
respond.
did ask enough time, like,
They
they're
closed the
always,
road.
Well, as long
that's
as
an
they,
issue.
no, cause, I close the road too, a lot of times for Friends of and all that,
For
for,
Prince of, you usually already have an
Yes.
approved
yes.
event.
And as far as like the craft show goes, they all gave me certificates of insurance with their application. My thing is, if Scott, and I'm not dissing anybody at all with this as well, but if Scott is collecting money for spaces down there for the arts craft show, whatever he's having down there, where's that money going? In his pocket?
I just asked that.
You know, I mean, that's an issue, and if it's an EDC thing, I didn't know that EDC could take money either. I could be wrong, but like I said, I knew I knew about it, but I wasn't asked to be joined in it at all as far as Friends go,
Then will there be receipts?
so.
Well, at the very least, we need insurance. So, you know,
it sounds like we have 4 or 5 different issues here.
Yeah.
So can we at
And we
least
need
call Mr. Fabian to say, look, the only way we can consider you using Coda Hill as you requested is if you have insurance?
The request is for Delaware, is for Coda Hill and Delaware
Delaware
Avenue.
Avenue.
Which is borough property.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, is that how we address this letter? I mean,
We also need to get some sort of narrative as to exactly what's expected that day. Are we gonna be up in our houses and something happens down there and we go, what? And we didn't know that they had a bouncy house or whatever else is planning down there, because all those things, I mean, we have no idea the parameters of it. Any other event we do here, you come to council, you say, I wanna do this, you get it approved, this is what will be involved.
This is not our event.
But you're
But
closing
it's
our
borough
street.
property.
Delaware Avenue is
Our
our
event. The minute
street.
they reflect, this is not our event. People act outside and do whatever they want in their businesses, that's on them. This gentleman wants to use our property, he's asking to use our property, we can either tell him no, or we could say yes and qualify it, well, we have to, I understand you have a concern about what's going on in the borough, but we cannot tell the businesses what they can do with their businesses.
I think-
They wanna group together and do something or whatever, as long as it doesn't infringe on our property, and if it does, they can ask permission to use it. But other than that, we just have to figure out how we address the man who sent us a letter saying, can we use the property? And I understand you have issues with whatever, event and nobody told you, whatever, that's fine. But I just wanna talk about how we're gonna address this right now, the specific request.
I think the question is, though, it's not, because the request is to use the hill and Delaware Avenue, and I think the question that I'm hearing is to use it for what?
Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. So we could say, I think it says something like,
Oh my God.
artisans, access to castle, entertainment stage, whatever. That's fine. So, do you wanna send them a letter? I mean, Deb, you wanna send them a letter saying,
Well, here's the thing, it's October 3rd,
yeah.
and the event is October 15th.
Yeah.
So, that sounds like a hard no to me. So we could just send a letter saying, no, not enough time, even though we really don't have a permitting or application process, but we could do that. I don't see it being a problem. It's our property. We could tell them no. You should have given us more time so we could have, 1, checked your insurance, 2, figured out what you're gonna do on this property other than your, vague, ambiguous letter. I mean, that's fine as well. But we should agree to that as council, how we're gonna respond to this and instead of just ignoring it. I mean, we should say, we're here, we got it.
Yeah, well, I think there's 250 people coming on the train that day, is that right, Dan? heard it was sold out.
Something like that, it's sold out, I don't know if it's exactly that much, but it's
It says
roughly that,
250
yeah.
to 300 people.
Okay,
Is
so
the
they're gonna
bus
be,
gonna go around the town to the other businesses like they usually do?
Yes.
Yes.
We're only getting one,
Okay.
when I talked to Bob, he said he could only give us one, and I said that's better than nothing, so, yeah. And like I said, I know the
I
train
still have
stations,
my trolley stop sign, can you just put it out
Sure
there on
can.
50?
sure can,
In fact, I think I'm collecting them, I think I'm going to buy a couple.
sure can, yeah.
I don't think we can say no, but I think we can
qualified.
strongly worded letter that this came to us
A little late.
12 days before the event, leaving us no option but to say yes.
No time to diligently.
Lisa, do you want me to talk to Scott? I mean, I've kind
I
of.
think it should be a letter from Deb.
No, it should be the council,
it should
it
be
should be the
council.
We
council.
can vote on that.
Are you
From our
finished
solicitor.
yourself?
That letter.
I mean, I think
And
you
she will,
can,
it's okay then, you're gonna.
I think you can approve what the parameters are. So I think you can approve that they can use Delaware Ave and they can use Coda Hill. They have to provide a certificate of insurance naming the borough as an additional insured. And that those areas would not be used for, if there are things you don't wanna use for, it's easier to include the things you are agreeable for it to be used for. There won't be alcohol sold on the street or in public spaces or whatever it is, parameters you wanna put on it, you can put those parameters saying, we're okay with you using it, but you gotta do this, you can't be outside those parameters.
Right.
How do we do that before October 15th?
It's
Well,
called a
that's
letter.
the concern.
It's a
I
letter.
have no concern. I'm saying no or yes, give us insurance for liability purposes and that's that.
Well,
I
no,
imagine you're not gonna break the law, you can't
No.
have an open container, that's against the law. So I mean, we're not authorizing them to break the law, if they do that, they're in violation of the law. You know, it's just, they shouldn't have open containers out in the street, it's a state law, it's not.
No deposit
Just
for
don't bring
cleanup?
anything else.
What does code? What is code?
I think it's just the property owner, if there's garbage outside of your property, I think the property owner is responsible, so the property owner should be.
Well, and use it, I mean, we
responsible.
put in letter that they're required to return Coda Hill to
But they
its,
probably have a license.
yeah,
pre-existing
conditions
state,
in.
yeah, pre-existing state.
Isn't there a winery in
Not
the
anymore.
castle
Not
anymore?
anymore.
Not anymore, okay. I thought, because that would make sense that they would be outside if they're doing an event, and then, you know, with their LCD special stuff.
Yeah, they may have the license,
You know,
without the
yeah.
proper license, yeah.
Right.
Is there anything else that's a concern about what they're doing? And that we would like them to provide us with a written something saying to write specifically what's happening in those spaces?
Yeah, and if they're using the Coda Hill, are they using the hill to sit on? Or are they where are they putting these booths?
I understand, but I think, right, I mean, we're not, the position right now is that you're gonna either have to approve something or not approve something tonight. And if you approve something tonight, and you wanna put parameters on it, you can do that. That Coda Hill will only be used for recreation purposes and not for whatever else. I mean, whatever you want it to be, whatever the concern is. But we can't, you're not in a position that you can go ask questions and then come back and then say whether that's okay or not. Because we don't have time to do that.
Which is why nothing should be planned without getting.
We all get that, but that's not where we are right now. So it's either you're willing to approve something with some conditions, either A, that they can or cannot do certain things, or that they provide you certain things within a specific period of time, or that you say, no, sorry, I don't care that there's 300 people coming. You gave us a letter on October 3rd asking to use something in 12 days. And and no one showed up here to provide us with information, we're not approving it. That's up to council, but we're not in a position where you can say, we want more information and then we're gonna make a decision, cause there's no time to do that.
Right.
I'm with Jamie as far as the stipulations, just
From a list,
keep it simple, return it to the way it was.
Yeah.
And I would put in there that I'm not gonna approve this next year if they do this again. I don't wanna hurt the borough.
Hopefully next year we'll have a permits
Yeah.
procedure in place that people can follow, we don't have anything now, so, guys.
I think it would hurt the borough and its businesses if we said
Code
no.
figure it out.
It would make the businesses look bad, would make the borough look bad.
I agree, I think,
As long as they have liability insurance, I can't see a greater harm that they could cause that would really hurt us.
But it doesn't get done this way again.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll have a procedure in place.
Alright, so
We're
how do we
working on that now.
communicate that? You wanna email to Mark, Deb, or a letter to them right
I
away?
can do a letter, I just need to, you all have to make a motion as to what that letter would say, because I don't get to decide what's in the letter.
Make a
You
motion
already
that gets
said
decided what's in the letter.
Second that motion.
I'll second that.
Unanimous.
So, we have a motion
Deb, what's in that cup?
Wouldn't you like to know? It's not what I would like it to be, I'll say that.
Send a response letter to Scott Fabian
Yeah.
approving the use of
Delaware
Delaware
Avenue and
Avenue.
Coda Hill
Delaware Avenue, Coda Hill,
Yeah.
with the
With
stipulations.
insurance.
For the October 15th, event planned,
with the following conditions.
1,
Insurance.
Insurance.
Insurance
Provide
and
proof of
indemnification.
insurance, or a rider.
provide
a rider
proof of
for-
insurance,
Yeah.
liability insurance. 2, property is to be returned or in the same condition it was given, or whatever however you wanna word that.
Yeah, correct word for that.
Condition given, and what else? Any other provisions?
No alcohol.
Yeah, no alcohol
That's,
to be served.
that's okay. Follow all state laws.
Yeah.
No fireworks.
Follow
Again,
all
state law.
state laws.
And maybe a list of what they're using the
Including
property for.
Open container laws.
Yeah.
Open container.
Oh, well, open container and fireworks.
Okay, what about the vendor?
Fireworks.
Why do you have this all in the meeting minutes?
The vendor